As you return to your seats, we're going to sing a song that I don't think that you had sung for quite some time. Um, and then the first couple of weeks that we were here, I added it to our morning liturgy, and we're going to sing it again today. It's All Who Love and Serve Your City. Well, this morning, since it is like ordinary time and it's got the green on, we are normally looking at the teachings and the lessons of Jesus in the Gospels. But last night, I decided to call an audible, and I want to look at Psalm 4 instead. And it seems even more appropriate after what Angela shared. So I'll read the psalm. It's on the screen. Answer me when I call. Let's see, I'm not going to be able to read it from that. Just a second. It's Psalm 4. And there's just 8 verses to it. Answer me when I call, O God of my right. You gave me room when I was in distress. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Okay. Okay. Answer me when I call, O God of my right. You gave me room when I was in distress. Be gracious to me and hear my prayer. How long, you people, shall my honor suffer shame? But how long will you love vain words and seek after lies? Selah. But know that the Lord has set apart the faithful for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. When you are disturbed, do not sin. Ponder it on your beds and be silent. Selah. Offer right sacrifices and put your trust in the Lord. There are many who say, "Oh, that we might see some good. Let the light of your face shine on us, O Lord." You have put gladness in my heart more than when their grain and wine abound. And then listen to this. I will both lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, O Lord, make me lie down in safety. The Psalms, as we have received them, there are 150 Psalms. And you've probably heard me say a few times that the Psalms cover the whole range of human activities, human feelings, emotions of the heart. All the emotions that we would say are the positive ones, and all the emotions that we would say are the negative ones. They're all in the Psalms. And what that song book was used for was the people would gather and they would sing them throughout different seasons and festivals and holy days throughout the year. They would sing them as a congregation. And there are some notes to the Psalms. There's a few of them. Like, for instance, this one it says, "To the leader with stringed instruments, a psalm of David." And to be honest, or to be frank, we no longer know what the music is. It's not what instruments they played. We can take a guess. What the sound or the music that was played to sing along, it just doesn't exist anywhere anymore. It's been forgotten, kind of lost in the sands of time. Also, there is a word in there. If you read the Psalms, it's Selah or Selah or something like that. And guess what? Don't know what that word means either. It's been lost. Probably, most likely, it means I just said something significant. Pause, take a breath, and think about it. So I imagine the ancient Hebrews gathering together for whatever day that they sang Psalm, whatever worship service they sang Psalm 4 together. And when they get to that part where it says Selah, everybody's quiet for a moment. Instruments stop, singing stops. They stand there and they feel the silence with one another. And then they go back to the next verse. My former city, the city that I have loved for 20 years. That's not my microphone. Yeah. Muncie has experienced some violence 2 weeks ago, some gun violence 2 weeks ago. And then Angela, her prayer this morning was for some gun violence that apparently happened last night in Indy. I would say that probably, I'm just guessing, that probably will continue. A couple July 1st ago, the Indiana legislature made it okay for anyone to carry a handgun concealed. You can just do it. So the the state police actually asked them not to do that. The state police said, we're going to get more shootings. And they did it anyway. So, this is not about pro-gun or anti-gun. I'm not getting involved in that this morning. What I am saying is, if anybody can carry at any time and they can hide it, you're probably going to use it more often. I mean, I don't know that if that's pretty kind of 1 + 1 = 2. And that's the world we live in. How do you? I mean, does that make you feel powerless? What are you going to do about it? What can I do about it? Do some of these topics, like guns or gun violence or anything that is on the news today, everyone is arguing, and they're digging in to their positions, and no one is reaching what we used to call reaching across the aisle. Like no one's doing that, or it's not possible right now, or something like that. And my kids just recently left high school, and like when you have kids or grandkids in high school, and it seems like every other week or once a month or something, there's a mass shooting, which we didn't even used to use that word or that phrase. We didn't have it, but now we need it. When there's a mass shooting at a high school, or you get a text in the middle of the day from the high school that's an alert, you wonder, you wonder, is it going to be my kid's high school, or grandkids' high school, or great-grandkids' high school? I don't want to live in that. And yet, what? Can't get out of it. It seems like the polarization that we are going through in the country, if it doesn't dissipate or change in a different direction soon, the system cannot handle that much tension forever. And somehow the tension will have to break. If it doesn't dissipate, it'll have to break in order to restart. How do we live in a time like that, where that's a possibility? It never even entered our minds before. I think about, I know that some of you probably got the little pamphlet or the little flyer with the turtle on it when you were in school that showed you how to duck and cover. Remember that? You're supposed to get under your desk should there be a nuclear war, right? As if your desk was going to do anything. Yeah. It would be vaporized too. And it would be quick. Again, I will always stand up here and say, the world is good, but it's broken. That is our theological statement on what we are experiencing. Sometimes are better, sometimes are worse. The psalmist, David, they sang that sometimes the harvest is good, and everyone has enough, and there's plenty to go around, and you can relax. And other times, the harvest is bad, and we're hungry, and we're worried about the future, and we're not sure how we're going to make ends meet, and we're not, for them, it literally was eat, But for us, this is a time where, in the psalmist's words, the harvest is terrible. There is not a lot of love going around. There's not a lot of truth. There's not a lot of facts. There's not a lot of forgiveness. People are not offering one another mercy. We're not giving space. This psalm says, Lord, you have opened a place that I was in a rock, between a rock and a hard place. I had backed myself into a corner, or someone else had backed me into a corner, and I could not get out. And maybe that's physically, or maybe that's mentally and emotionally. How do I get out? And the psalmist says, Lord, you took me out of that corner, and you opened the space, and you made it wide for me to walk out. It reminds us of when the children of Israel were enslaved in Egypt. And there is a narrow path through the rocks where you come to the beach at the Red Sea. And it's the only way that you could walk there. You can look up pictures online if you'd like. It is a narrow place, and you're coming through craggy rocks, and then all of a sudden it opens up, and you're on the beach. And now what are you going to do? Now the army's behind you, and the Red Sea's in front of you. It opened up. And guess what? It opened up again. The waters parted, and they walked across, and they were saying to themselves, this is almost like we're walking on dry ground. So for us personally, the Lord will make a way when we are backed into a corner. For us collectively, whether that is an emotional, psychological thing for you, whether that is a family thing, whether that's a physical thing, like the Lord will open up space for us when we need it. I don't know, as a collective group from sea to shining sea, I don't know what will happen there. But you, and here's my point this morning. This is why I wanted to switch to this psalm. You and I, it's an invitation. Like, remember, the people sang it once a year to remind themselves that the Lord is offering us, if you would like to sleep peacefully, you're welcome to do that. In the midst, it's not that you don't care. It's not that you're not concerned. In fact, some of us might be very active in our groups and our communities and our little niches of people in trying to promote peace and neighborliness. We might need to be active. It's not about sticking your head in the sand. It's not about withdrawing. It's not about not caring. It's an offer in the midst of mass shootings and gun violence and mixed messages and trying to find what's real and true and not knowing exactly what's happening. The Lord is offering an invitation through this song. You can sleep peacefully. He offers that to us. And this psalm also tells us, it gives us some practical advice. It gives us something to do that might help us. So we are, if you watch and we feel the tension, people arguing, people fighting, people making accusations against one another. There is not handshaking. There is not neighborliness. There are not attempts to compromise on lots and lots and lots of issues. And we might be tempted to lose our cool sometimes. We might be tempted, or it might just happen. We might respond with anger, or we might lash out at someone, or maybe we stew and ruminate. And maybe that goes on for a long time about a topic, a current issue, what a person said to you. And we ruminate. It's almost like we're cooking a stew for uh, all day long with this in our minds. And it really starts to set up shop. David, he wrote this literally when people with swords were chasing him, trying to kill him. Like that was the enemy for him. We have different kinds of, quote, enemies that we've been discussing this morning. But here is what I want to leave us with. This practical advice. And I'm doing it too. I want you to know that. I would never say anything that I don't actually believe deeply, and I would never invite you to do something that I don't do myself. And I have to sort of translate it just a bit because we might miss it in English. And he says, when you are disturbed, do not sin. Ponder it on your beds and be silent, Salah. So he says that, and then everybody stops singing. The choir stops, the instrument stops, and everybody has to think about what they just said. The practical advice is when when you're about to blow your top, when you're about to lash out, when you have been stewing or ruminating on something, when you are agitated all the time, he says, when you're red in the face, he says, go lay down on your bed and be silent. Like literally, however long it takes, go lay down. If you are all worked up, if you are afraid of what's happening, if you are involved in an argument, if you don't know what to do, if you're very mad at someone, go lay down on your bed, be silent, and let it happen. And it will cycle through. And if you practice the silence, eventually you will get to a place where you will feel better. And it might be a different amount of time for different people, but this is actually a spiritual discipline. We probably talk about working harder. Here's 3 keys or 5 steps to do better. Here's 3 steps and 5 keys of things you need to do when you're angry with your neighbor. That's not what this is saying. Forget that for a minute. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to try harder. You don't need to be better. You don't need to work at it more. What you need to do is discipline yourself to go lay down. And it might be 15 minutes, and it might be the whole day. And it doesn't matter. Let me give you permission to lay down for 15 minutes, or let me give you permission to lay down for the whole day, until that agitation and those unclear thoughts and that hatred or anger or fear or whatever it is, it will eventually go down. Your body, your chemicals will start subsiding and changing, and you will eventually come to a place where your mind is more clear and you have clarity and some peace. But that doesn't happen if you keep talking. If you keep talking, and you just keep talking about whatever the topic, issue that is really stuck in your craw. If you keep talking about it, you'll never feel the things you need to feel. You're just avoiding it. So go lay down. I would love to hear someone tell me, Josh, go lay down for a few minutes. And the Lord is faithful. The weight of the world, we may need to be active in our communities for good things. Mercy, justice, love, compassion, neighborliness. But the weight of the world is not on your shoulders. Let Jesus carry Jesus' cross. Jesus' cross is his cross. It's not yours. It's not mine. That belongs to him. That's his work. Like finishing this world, that's on him. It's not on us. And this laying down until it subsides, when you are disturbed, it says, when you are agitated, actually it's shaking. Like when you feel like you are the earthquake inside, maybe even your hands are trembling. When you feel that way, the Bible teaches us, don't sin. Don't, stop whatever you're doing. Ponder it on your beds and be silent. Quit talking. And let it happen and put your trust in the Lord. And when you get up out of your bed, you will feel better. And this is the time where we need to do things like this to feel better for our days. And it says, David says, and he has them all sing it in the first person, I will both lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, O Lord, make me lie down in safety. And so that's what I want to offer us this morning, is to sleep in peace and know that we lie down and wake up in safety. And no matter what happens, God has the power to raise the dead. So if that is taken care of, everything else will be too. Would you pray with me as Jesus has taught us? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. As we prepare to leave, I hope that you feel encouraged to go rest in safety and trust the Lord. Let's stand and sing. Okay, I'm going to offer a different benediction, Jason, that's on the screen. The traditional blessing that many churches use every Sunday throughout the world is, go in peace to love and serve the Lord, right? And I always add, which means loving and serving your neighbor. But we tell each other, after our collective worship, go in peace. And I want to let you know that put your faith to the test. Lean on those arms of Jesus. That is what our faith is for. Try it out. Lean on his arms. The everlasting arms. They're always loving, always gracious, always merciful, always receiving you whenever you come. So go in peace. Take peace with you to love and serve the Lord, which means loving and serving your neighbor. Amen. You are dismissed.